Excellencies, distinguished panelists, delegates, ladies and gentlemen, colleagues. I'm not going to be about to sing Auld Lang Syne, but after 3 days of conferencing, 2.5 days, the 38th Asia-Pacific Roundtable finally comes to an end. No attempt to summarize the conversations on how the frontiers of Asia are being recalibrated can do it justice. So I won't attempt to do that. Nevertheless, it behoves me to make two broad observations. First, we have heard multiple speakers across multiple sessions underscore how the new norm of unpredictability has complicated the strategies and interests of many countries. We could see countries attempt to become more agile in defining and pursuing their interests. Fluidity will become the name of the game. This is compounded by the growing divide in the international community, not between the West or global North and the global South, but between those who want to conduct international relations based on common values and norms, those who disagree with those norms, and those who are simply hypocritical about them. Secondly, on the geoeconomic front, Southeast Asia must evolve from being merely a peripheral participant in value chains to actively shaping them through technological, industrial, financial, and regulatory agency. Southeast Asian stakeholders need to own parts of the value chain, not just facilitate it. This will define our future competitiveness and agency. This was re-emphasized by Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim earlier today when he called on ASEAN to be agents of change in a changing world, not to merely preserve our interests, but to shape them. This will see ASEAN seeking common ground to bridge regions as we strive for security and trade architectures that are inclusive, predictable, and anchored in rules which prioritize dialogue and restraint. Ladies and gentlemen, friends and colleagues, I reiterate my gratitude to our partners, particularly the Australian High Commission, the delegation of the European Union, the Konrad Adenauer Stiftung, and the Embassy of the People's Republic of China. I also recognize that the High Commission of India, the Embassy of the United States, and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Trade of New Zealand, as well as the Embassy of the Republic of Korea, the International Committee of the Red Cross, and the Embassy of Japan. At the risk of blowing our own trumpet, I'm proud to say that we have seen a growing interest by our partners for greater levels of participation in the Roundtable, which we take, of course, as a sign that we must be doing something right. To our panelists, speakers, and instigators, and the delegates of the 38th Asia-Pacific Roundtable, I thank you for your time, generosity of knowledge, and readiness to engage. Finally, could I ask all of you to join me in thanking my colleagues at ISIS, especially the operations staff, for their efforts in putting off another successful roundtable. Ladies and gentlemen, as I conclude, I would like to extend an invitation to all of you to keep an eye out for ISIS Malaysia's next major flagship program, Praxis. Over the past 3 days, we have heard time and again about the changing global order and the dissolution of familiar frameworks. Praxis takes this discourse to the next level by focusing on what comes after the old normal, and how Malaysia can shape the next generation of regional norms in economics, climate change, and infrastructure. Prioritizing solution-centric discourse, Praxis this year will touch on the future of regional and global trade policy, climate security, and cross-border connectivity for the betterment of society. Mark your calendars for 7th August and keep updated on Praxis 2025 through our social media channels. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of ISIS Malaysia and the ASEAN ISIS Network, I once again extend my gratitude to all of you for your participation and support of the Asia-Pacific Roundtable. We will see you next year at the 39th iteration of this Roundtable. Thank you, and I wish you all a pleasant journey.